In 1997, Steve Jobs walked into Apple's boardroom and saw a nightmare. 11 desktop computers and 4 laptop models were 90 days from bankruptcy. His first decision shocked everyone. We're killing 70% of everything. Here's how ruthless simplification saved Apple. Apple in 1997 was drowning in complexity. Multiple performance models nobody understood. 20-plus confusing product names. Customers couldn't figure out what to buy. Even Apple employees were lost. The company that thought different had forgotten how to think simple.
And I think that Apple has pockets of greatness, but in some ways has drifted away from doing the basics really well. So we started with the product line. We looked at the product roadmap going out for a few years, and we said a lot of this doesn't make sense. And it's way too much stuff, and there's not enough focus. And so we actually got rid of 70% of the stuff on the product roadmap. I mean, I couldn't even figure out the damn product line after a few weeks. I kept saying, well, what is this model? How does this fit? And I started talking to customers, and they couldn't figure it out either. And so you're going to see the product line get much simpler, and you're going to see the product line get much better. And there's some new stuff coming out that's incredibly nice.
Jobs spent 3 weeks reviewing Apple's product line. Printers that lost money. Scanners nobody wanted. 15 different desktop models. Software projects going nowhere. Engineers spread too thin across 100-plus products. Which ones do I tell my friends to buy? Nobody could answer.
When we got to the company a year ago, there were a lot of products. These were the product platforms, 15 product platforms, and a zillion variants of each one. I couldn't even figure this out myself. After about 3 weeks, I said, how are we going to explain this to others when we don't even know which products to recommend to our friends? If we had 4 great products, that's all we need. And as a matter of fact, if we only had 4, we could put the A-team on every single one of them. And if we only had 4, we could turn them all every 9 months instead of every 18 months. And if we only had 4, we could be working on the next generation or 2 of each one as we're introducing the first generation. So that's what we decided to do, to focus on 4 great products.
Jobs grabbed a whiteboard and drew 4 boxes. 2 columns, consumer and professional. 2 rows, desktop and portable. 4 markets, 4 products, 1 crystal clear vision. Everything else would die.
We went back to Business School 101, and we said, what do our customers want in our products? What kind of products do they want? And they wanted 2 fundamental kinds of products. They wanted consumer products, and they wanted pro products. Our design and publishing customers primarily wanted the pro products. Our education customers primarily wanted the consumer products. But they also wanted 2 different kinds of each one, desktop and portable. And we looked at this and we said, now, this looks pretty simple, but we couldn't find a way to come up with anything else that captured what they wanted as succinctly and as clearly as this. We said, finally, this is it. We've got to make 4 great products, and we can meet the needs of what our customers are telling us they want. And we've spent the last 10 months working like crazy to try to do just that.
What Jobs killed? Newton MessagePad, despite $500 million investment. Copland operating system, 12 Performa desktop models. Printer and scanner divisions, CyberDog Internet Suite. OpenDoc framework, 70% of Apple's products vanished overnight. What survived the purge? PowerMac G3, PowerBook G3, iMac, iBook. 4 products, 4 quadrants, 0 confusion. I freed up some good engineers who could work on new mobile devices. Apple's execs were furious. You're killing profitable products! Customers will leave us! We need more options, not fewer. What Jobs didn't care. He axed every other product Apple had, including things like printers and peripherals. Simplicity over revenue. Focus over fear. Results came fast. Apple returned to profitability in 1998. Stock price rose 9,000% over the next decade. iMac became best-selling computer in America. Clear product line equals clear marketing message. Customers finally knew what Apple stood for.
When Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, he cut 340 products. He cut it down to just 10 products, and they were on the brink of bankruptcy. But within 2 years, he got the company profitable, and within the next decade, they released the iPhone, and they became the world's most valuable company. This is a perfect example of focus making a significant impact on overall success.
And this approach became Apple's DNA. iPhone, simple product, complex engineering. iPad, one size, not 12 variants. MacBook, clear Pro versus Air distinction. Many companies like Google and HP reduced their product complexity to focus on key areas after Steve's takeover. Steve Jobs' simplification principles: complexity is the enemy of clarity. Say no to good ideas to say yes to great ones. Less but better over more but mediocre. Focus is about elimination, not addition. Solutions over options. Stop adding, start subtracting. Simplicity scales.
Somebody taught me a long time ago a very valuable lesson, which is if you do the right things on the top line, the bottom line will follow. And what they meant by that was if you get the right strategy, if you have the right people, and if you have the right culture at your company, you'll do the right products, you'll do the right marketing, you'll do the right things logistically and in manufacturing and distribution. And if you do all those things right, the bottom line will follow. So yes, we have obviously plans about where we'd like to see the bottom line, but we are focusing most of our energy not on financial re-engineering, because that's not what's been troubled at Apple. We're focusing our energy on the right product strategies, the right market strategies, the right communication strategies, the right logistics and distribution strategies. And the team is making, I think, very strong strides.